On this episode of China Uncensored, Hong Kong's chief executive is ready to talk to protesters. He didn't say anything about listening to them. Hi, welcome to China Uncensored. I'm your host, Chris Chappell. Good news for Hong Kong protesters. Hong Kong's chief executive, C.Y. Leung, says the Hong Kong government is ready to talk to protesters, which is exactly the same thing the government said a week ago. That was before abruptly canceling talks with the protesters because officials believed that no compromise could be reached. But this time, they're ready to talk. Really, as long as it's not about demanding true universal suffrage for the 2017 Hong Kong elections, because Beijing already said that the candidates have to be pre-approved by Beijing, and that is non-negotiable. See, Hong Kong? That's the kind of decisive action you get from your leadership when they're all appointed by Beijing. Why would you ever want to change that system? Leung tried his best to convince protesters that, hey, if it doesn't work out in 2017, let's try again in 2022. Because if you let the Communist Party take away some of your freedoms now, they'll let you have more freedoms later. That's totally how it works. The one thing that Leung did float that might have an effect on the 2017 elections is changing the nominating committee that's in charge of pre-approving candidates, which might possibly make it easier for non-Beijing candidates to make it on the ballot. But that may not be enough for protesters. Here's a suggestion. Let's put MasterCard in charge of the Hong Kong nominating committee. Then they could all be pre-approved. Well, this is the kind of back and forth that pretty much sums up the deadlock that's happening in now the third week of protests in Hong Kong. Earlier this week, police tried to take down some barricades in the main protest areas to take back traffic lanes and shrink the protest sites. Protesters responded by building new barricades out of bamboo poles, some of which showed that lively Hong Kong sense of humor. But things came to a head early Wednesday morning after police drove protesters from a main road near government offices. Protesters responded by trying to occupy another main road tunnel, which police used force to retake. This video was aired on Hong Kong's TVB. It appears to show police taking a protester behind a building and repeatedly beating and kicking him while he's down. It didn't help that it was filmed as police nearby arrested 45 people and used pepper spray to clear out crowds. At least 10 protesters and 5 police were injured, according to the Washington Post. So of course, rather than backing off, even more protesters came out Wednesday night. And early Thursday morning, police used pepper spray again and arrested 2 more people. By Thursday, public anger had grown over Hong Kong police beating the protester, a social worker and pro-democracy activist. And people were doubly angry that instead of being suspended, the officers involved were at first just reassigned. That changed after the public outcry. So let's just say things aren't getting quieter in Hong Kong, despite what you may see on mainland Chinese TV. The actions of Hong Kong police have once again inspired protests to continue and made the public more sympathetic to protesters. So the situation in Hong Kong continues to be in a deadlock. But don't worry. C.Y. Leung may be determined not to give in to any of the protesters' demands about universal suffrage, but he said he is determined to restore order. And I can only assume that means by ensuring the kind of social harmony enjoyed by Hong Kong's brethren in the mainland. As Communist Party mouthpiece People's Daily said in a front-page editorial on Wednesday, stability is bliss and turmoil brings havoc. And while we're at it, war is peace, freedom is slavery, and ignorance is strength. So what do you think will happen next? Leave your comments below and remember to subscribe, share, and like this video. Once again, I'm Chris Chappell. See you next time.